everyone. I'm Andy Lee along with Jim Griffin, and we're here for tonight's interstate battle, Jim.
A non-conference game, a non-conference, non-divisional game for that matter for the UAJ Wales, but perhaps their biggest game in 2 years. That's what everybody's been talking about around town, and it's been sort of quite a show. They've had a reception here before the game. A lot of movers and shakers in the state are here, and it's sort of a focal point for what's going on in Anchorage, what's going on in Juneau, at least Wednesday night, the 5th of February.
Well, we've got a big game coming up, and just before the game, I talked with the coaches of both teams. Big game tonight, the first interstate rivalry between you and the UAJ team. What can we expect from your ball club?
Well, it is a big game, kind of a historic event. The first time we'll play against the Hump Whales and the Seawolves. It's hard to know what to expect. Our basketball team, we're a little short-handed tonight. Tyrone Jones, a starter for us, is ill. We've left him in Anchorage, and Dale Bartley also did not make the trip. So 2 of our starters are not here tonight, and so our chemistry will be a little bit different, and I think we'll have to take advantage of what we can, and it's obvious that we have a height advantage, and we're hoping that we can really rebound well and maybe kick the ball inside. We do not want to get into a running contest with Juneau, because that's what they do best.
Exactly.
And so we'll try to control the tempo.
Now you're 4-0 in your conference. You're off to a good start. You had a successful tournament with your upset of Missouri earlier in the season. What's it look like down the road for the Seawolves?
We're really pleased with our new people. We're inexperienced other than Ncaa, the 6'10" center from Germany. We feel that we've had a great recruiting year last year, and the foundation's there for us to continue to improve. So I can say that we're on the road to improving, and hopefully we can continue that.
Now, mentioning your recruiting year, you were very successful in state. Tell us about some of the Alaska players we might see on your ball club tonight.
Well, tonight I anticipate that we'll have 4 local kids that'll see action. Mike Ligon and Mike Childs from state champions East High School, Mike Kilpatrick from West High, and Vern Roboto from Chugiak. All 4 of those kids are freshmen, and we feel that they'll play tonight.
Very good, Coach. Best of luck in tonight's ball game.
Thank you.
Okay. That interview was with Coach Harry Larrabee. That interview was with Coach Harry Larrabee of University of Alaska Anchorage Seawolves. And Jim, we're going to throw it down to the floor now, to the floor mic, and try to pick up some of these opening activities of this game.
The regional championship meet, February 12 and 16. The men's team finished in the top 7 teams competing in the region. Let's give them a big hand.
Doesn't look like they're quite ready, so we'll talk with Coach Markey of the UAJ Wales, and the coach had these words to say about tonight's game.
Well, we're happy it's here, and we know it's going to be a tough ball game, but we couldn't be in a better position. It's a new program, and here we are playing our sister school from Anchorage, who is a very successful program. In a lot of ways, we'd like to emulate what they're doing. They are an outstanding club. They just knocked off Eastern Montana the other night, and it looks like they're probably going to win their league. And, of course, they have an All-American in Hansi Gnott, 6'10". And Jesse Jackson is an outstanding junior college player from California. So we know we're into a dogfight here, and we just hope that we play well and play hard.
What do the Whales got to do tonight to be successful?
Well, Jackson has been very, very effective over the last 4 games now. I think he's averaged about 25 points a game. Very excellent outside shooter, and of course Gnott is 6'10", and he's like I said, a Division II All-American. So we're going to have to do things inside to keep him from getting the ball, and then we're going to have to do something to work on Jackson so that he has to work a little bit harder for his shots, possibly doesn't hit a good percentage.
Okay. Well, one thing, we hope that tonight that the crowd's a factor. Well,
I hope so too. I think we're going to have a nice crowd, and it's really it's a big event for us. And I hope the people understand that and appreciate it.
Okay. Are the Whales healthy?
Yes.
Okay, well, we look forward to a great game, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, as I said, we're going to go down to the floor right now where Jim Dumont has just introduced a representative from the University of Alaska Anchorage. So down to the floor.
Thank you very much. It's a delight to be here. I'd like to present this plaque to the University of Alaska Juneau. Please let me read it. This plaque is presented to the University of Alaska Juneau in recognition of the first intercollegiate competition between the two sister universities. We look forward to friendly athletic competitions for many years to come. We are delighted to have you start your program, and best wishes to you.
Thank you, Dr. Outcott. We are very delighted actually to have the Seawolves with us tonight. It is an extreme pleasure for two campuses of the University of Alaska to compete in athletics and to have a brotherly or sisterly, whatever it is, relationship. Thank you very much, and good luck to you too. I would like at this time to introduce to you a gentleman who very early misses one of the ball games that we have in Juneau. He is a very good friend of the University of Alaska. As a matter of fact, one of the best friends of the University of Alaska, not just of UAJ, but the total university. We would like to have at this time Representative Jim Duncan, please come down here. To a good legislator and a good friend of the university and a good friend of athletics, I would like to say thank you very much. And for something else, I would like to have at this time Jim, the man, to finish the program. Jim?
Thank you, Dr. Paradise. On behalf of the University of Alaska Juneau, the athletic program, we would like to make you, Representative Duncan, our first honorary team member. District 4 is the number on the back. We'd also like to have you be the ceremonial first throw of the ball tonight, if you could.
Well, thank you, Jim. I hope this is a size large. I'm going to try it on. What's the first throw? Do I have to make a basket?
No, we'll just throw a jump ball. We won't put you into that type of pressure tonight.
It fits. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's first contest between the University of Alaska Anchorage and your University of Alaska Juneau Whales. Tonight we're going to introduce the entire lineups for both teams one at a time, beginning with the University of Alaska Anchorage, number 10, Mike Ligon. For Juneau, number 23, Basharn Rawls. For Anchorage, number 23, Mike Childs. For Juneau, number 31, Malcolm Whitfield. Number 22, Vern Robideau. Number 34, Rick Beecham. Number 32, Kevin Bloom. Number 35, Doug Dott. Number 52, Mike Kilpatrick. Number 41, Jim Davenport. And number 45, Mike Bestellato. And now for tonight's starters. Starting for Anchorage first, number 3, Mike Schmitz. Number 11, Damon Lowry. Number 12, Jesse Jackson. And number 12, Tom Wilson. Number 13, Pierre Amon. Number 43, Steve Coleman. Number 33, Hansi Gnad. Number 44, Pete Esau. Number 42, Jeff Sheedy. And number 33, Jeff Miller. Anchorage is coached by Harry Larrabee, Juneau coached by Claire Markey.
Now I'd like to introduce the mayor from the university, from the city and borough of Juneau, Mayor Fran Homer, to sing our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise and sing along with me the Star-Spangled Banner? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red clear, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Okay, Jim, we're just moments away from tip-off, and as you saw during the introduction to the players, Coach Larrabee pointed out that his team had somewhat of a height advantage. It's quite distinct, especially in the key positions underneath the basket.
That's certainly true. That Pierre Amon from Stockholm, Sweden, he looked a little like, anybody who's seen Rocky III out there, he looked a little bit like the Drago, I guess. Drago is a character in Rocky III, and he, with Hansi Gnad inside, a couple of 6'10" players. I think this is about the tallest team we've seen any team put on the court. Western Washington started 6'10" and a 6'8" player before, but I think this is the first time we've seen a couple of twin towers at 6'10" playing together.
Well, I imagine Hawaii Pacific did have the twin towers at both at 7 foot, and quite naturally the outcome of that game was decided quite early. And it'll be interesting to see if the Whales can set the kind of pace they want to set. The Seawolves have both the tallest player on the floor and the shortest player with Jesse Jackson, and he looks like he weighs in at about a good 135 and stands about 5'6". So, but he's probably also the fastest player on the floor and the highest scorer. So you can see that their strength lies at their shortest and their tallest positions, as we see Representative Jim Duncan throw up the first ceremonial ball.
So Representative Duncan dispatching it pretty well. The key thing that making a good toss, and any referee knows, is to throw it higher than neither player can jump. And with the 6'10" player, you have to get it up there some.
Okay. Why don't you set the officials for tonight's game, Jim?
Jim Shoemaker is the referee. He just tossed the ball up there to start the game, and Joe Beckstrand will be our umpire.
Okay, Anchorage controls the tip. UAJ comes out in their man-to-man. Pass goes inside to Nad. He puts it up off the board. It misses. Esau comes up with a loose ball, and he'll slow it down, hand it off to Tommy Wilson. No surprise as the Seawolves come out in a 2-1-2 zone. Baseline drive by Coleman. He puts it up. It's an air ball as he has a hard time getting it over Sheedy. And Esau comes up with a loose ball. The Whales are a good perimeter shooting team, but this team from Anchorage has size, quickness on the outside. The Whales are going to have to get those shots off quickly and hope to get some fouls. There goes, and there it is as UAJ breaks the ice from the outside. Rawls hits the 20-footer.
That was close to a three-point play, but I think LaSharn's foot was just on the line. Joe Beckstrand turning to the bench and signaling it was definitely two, but it was almost a three-pointer to get this thing started. Of course, there's only a two-point shot in NC2A.
And there Gnad goes to work as he gets the pass inside from Smitzer. And Esau was unable to handle the height and the combination of height and quickness by Gnad. Inside Esau, he spins. He's double teamed there inside the zone. Back to Rawls. Looks on top to Wilson. Wilson fires. And the Whales are on top 4-2 as they hit the perimeter shots when they have to. Smitzer gets it inside, nearly hawked away by Wilson. He'll left-hand dribble up the floor. Wilson falls down, but no call. On top comes Sheedy. Smitzer. Cross side to Sheedy, guarded by Miller. Coleman, outside. Smitzer from 12, it's good.
Almond, they got the ball to Almond there right at the free throw line. He was wide open, but he did not take the shot. So the big guy, maybe not that confident in his outside shooting.
Well, I think he's a role player. He knows his job is to get inside, get some boards. As Nad clears away the rebound. Kicks it off to Smitzer. 17:50 remaining in the first half. If you're not here yet, come on down. We've got an exciting game. Miller up for the rebound, doesn't get it. And possession will go over to the University of Alaska Anchorage. Smitzer will inbounds. They'll run a stack with Jesse Jackson, number 12, off to the right. In the stack is Gnad and Amon. Jackson to Sheedy. Sheedy with the 12-footer. It's up and good. And UAJ trails by 2 as Anchorage takes their first lead of the game. Miller on top, looks from his favorite spot. As the Whales rotate the ball from side to side. Coleman on top to Wilson. Rebound again. The long deep pass out to Jackson. Stolen away by Wilson. Wilson to Miller. Miller sets. Fires. It's up, over, and off. And again, the rebound is taken off by the 6'10" Nad as he has 3 or 4 rebounds already. And Smitzer drives. Stolen away by Rawls to Coleman. And Nad just, well, you saw it.
Wow.
You can't teach height. He didn't even get fully off of the floor. Coleman pumped. And Nad just waited for the shot, and it didn't look like there was much contact. It looked like it may have been anticipated, and you know, it's probably tough for our local referees to adjust to the height as well.
That's right. You get those tall players who can jump. It is you have to adjust your game all right as your official, as well as in the player.
Coleman hits the first. So we'll see as both teams and the officials will go through a short adjustment period here, and the fans really aren't into the game yet. I think they're waiting. Kind of holding back, waiting for an explosion here. Scores all tied as Coleman puts down 2. Jackson comes up against the man-to-man. The lob's into Nad, and he'll lay it up and in. Crowd anticipated a dunk. Anchorage leads by 2 as Coleman brings the ball into the forecourt. To Rawls, to Wilson, to Miller. Wales on the perimeter. Look to Coleman. Cross court to Rawls. Rawls drives baseline, deals inside to Esau. Esau double teamed. He gets the shot up and in, and it's 8-8. Esau goes up among the trees. Comes away with 2.
Nice pass inside by Rawls.
Jackson penetrates with his quickness. He shows why he's one of the leading scorers in the Northwest. And that's quick guarding quick when you have Rawls and Jackson out there.
Well, Juneau's come out. That perimeter game is working so far for Juneau. They may make their shots from outside. There's one by Jeff Miller. It's
That's
off.
right. And I'm sure we'll see a lot of Doug Dott tonight as he's the zone buster off the bench for the Whales. Smitzer, guarded by Wilson, gets it off to Sheedy. Sheedy up in the high post to Ncaa. Ncaa pressured there by Esau. Inside Smitzer, lob pass to Ncaa. Ncaa puts it up and in. And there's UAA seems to be able to get whichever shot they want when they want it and as close to the basket as they want it.
That's right, Ncaa. A couple of real nice passes to him inside. They're feeding the big guy well, and he knows what to do when he gets within 5 feet of the basket. Just bounce it off the glass.
I'm sure the Whales are going to try to make this a full court game with their defensive pressure, try to spread out the Anchorage team as the ball goes over and off and possession goes to Anchorage, the Seawolves.
Looks like we have a foul called on Pete Esau there.
That's Pete's first, team's first. Sheedy inbounds to the 6'10" Ahmad. And Ahmad is not just a 6'10" player. He's about 250 pounds, all solid. Jackson spin move against Rawls, puts up the one-hander. And they're looking to see if the basket's good. And basket's good, and the lead is extended to 6.
Jim Shoemaker, another thing they teach at referee school is to make that call right away on the basket good. I don't think Jim saw the foul. I don't think he really followed the flight of the ball. And sometimes it makes you look like you get talked into a basket. Certainly, I think it was a good call. Jackson was fouled on the way up. The basket should count, and now he has a chance for a three-point play.
Well, you know, this is a key portion of the game. I'm sure Coach Markey right now, as Jackson hits the free throw, wrestling with the idea of going to a zone, but when you trail, you can't play zone. And UAJ is, again, going to have to up-tempo this game and keep it end-to-end.
We have UAJ now down for 3 for 9 from the floor. As a result of their outside shooting. They missed their last 3 outside jumpers, and there's the 4th one in a row now that has dropped off. And UAA now is out-rebounding the Whales 5-2.
And that's a good part of that 5 rebounds you can credit to Mr. Ncaa. He screens for Smitzer, gets a lob in the baseline. He's driving on Esau, and he'll draw the foul.
Ncaa trying to clear Esau out with that swinging free arm, and referee Jim Shoemaker calling him for a player control foul. And that's a good call to make early in the game to get that type of thing under control, because Ncaa now probably will not do that the rest of the game. He knows the referees are going to look for it, and now he's being taken out.
He's picked up his second foul, and Mike Kilpatrick, one of the charms in last year's Alaska recruiting crop, which was a great in-state recruiting year for the University of Alaska Anchorage team, as Doug Dott puts down the jumper, and that's his job, come in and hit the outside shot. Smetzer with the ball, hawked by Miller. He goes to Jackson, guarded by Wilson. Very nice spin move, and he puts up the jump shot, and it goes down, and he looks very at ease out there, and that's a bad sign. He's a very smooth player, and if he can do what he wants out there on the move and do his favorite things, it's going to be a very long night for the Whales.
Nice. That was a nice move, that little spin around jumper.
Dott looks for his jumper to Miller.
Markey has both his outside shooters in at the same time now. Miller and Dott, they often play for each other, but they have them both in trying to get some outside shooting ability in there.
Well, Rawls is probably the weakest of the Whales perimeter shooter. And this is their best overall shooting team, is the team they have on the floor now. Tommy Wilson's a good shooter from the top, and he plays the point. Pete Esau is their best interior shooter, and then you've got the jump shooters. You've got Dott, Miller, and Coleman, and that's what you've got to have tonight. The lead is 7, 13:58 remaining in the first half.
Foul was on Pierre Amon, number 13. That was his first. 13 foul for UAA.
The one-handed shot is up and in. Coach Markey will be very active tonight. Up and down that bench, trying to keep his team in the game. Esau hits the second. 17-12, the lead is 5. UAJ had several early leads, but the Seawolves were able to fight back, and now they lead by 5. Penetration by Jackson, and again, the quickness proves out, and he's fouled by, looks like Esau.
And that's a real bad foul. To have Pete Esau pick a foul that far away from the basket on a little jumper like that. You want your big man, if he's picking up his fouls at all, he should be trying to keep the other big man away from getting those layups inside. But you got to give those guards those jumpers. At least the big man shouldn't be out there contesting them. Maybe the little guys can pick up the fouls out there.
Well, one of the things that makes Jackson doubly dangerous is his ability to penetrate and hit the shot. And the minute the big men come in to help, you can look for him to dish to Amon and Ncaa and Sheedy inside for easy layups. And I'm sure as they stop him from taking that little short jump shot off the spin move, he's going to start dishing. Substitution into the game. That's Mike Childs. Childs is probably the prize of last year's recruiting crop. He was a star player for the state champs, 6'5", and he was an all-state player in Alabama previous to that. So he brings with him some good credentials, and he's a heck of a player. Coleman drives, puts up the shot, no good. Rebound swept outside to Miller. Coleman drives, puts up the pump, it doesn't go. Rebound by Childs as he makes his, Ligon as he makes his presence felt. Smitzer with the ball behind the back dribble. Left-hand pass outside to Sheedy. Jump shots over and off. Rebound by Sheedy. He gets it back out to Smitzer. 19-12. Seawolves leading the Whales. Amon inside his first shot of the game. Puts it up. No touch. Rebound fought for. Taken off by Coleman. 3-on-1 Whales on the break. Pass to Miller. He puts it up. No good. And the fans and the coaches are calling for goaltending, but it looked like he didn't quite get to that one, and Coleman adjusted the shot out of his range, actually.
I didn't really see any contact. on that block there. I don't know what the fans will do.
They've got a call inside. And suddenly, Jim, the fans are in this game, however negative.
Coach Markey, you're down on the floor. He's a little closer than we are. I mean, it's a different angle. Maybe he saw some contact on the ball.
Well, tonight, if you're watching the sidelines, watch both Coach Markey and Larrabee. Larrabee is quite the showman, and he'll be working the referees. He'll be up and down the bench, and I'm sure Coach Markey isn't going to let him get the upper hand as Amon gets it inside. He misses the short shot. Rebound inside, and the foul is going to be on 1-3. That's Amon. And the fans come to life. And we have a classic David and Goliath battle going on out there. And right now Goliath leads, but David's coming back. 19-12, 12:30 remaining.
Good position by the Whales in his last rebounding series.
And Dot scores, and that's just what they needed to keep the crowd in the game. 19-14, 12:29 remaining. First half action here. Juneau Douglas High School Gymnasium. Smitzer with the ball to Childs. Childs baseline. Puts up the one-hander. It's over and off. Rebound fought for, taken off by Ligon, fought for by Esau. Esau's going to be fouled in there by Sheedy. And that's going to be a key. If the Whales can go to the foul line, they can negate some of the inside baskets with their free throw shooting. 19-14. Whales trying to cut that lead to 3. Air ball's put up by Dot. Smitzer with the ball. He looks down the floor. Lob pass to Childs. He doesn't get it.
It's the third turnover for the Seawolves tonight, and we still don't have a turnover down for the Whales, although maybe that last air ball is about the closest you come to a turnover there by Doug Dot.
Whales will look to cut this lead to 3. This is their second opportunity. Saved by Miller. Childs hawks Miller. Dot with Amon on him. Near steal by Ligon. The ball's on the floor. Esau recovers. Miller fires from the three-point line. It's over and off. Rebound Amon. Feeds up to Smitzer. And I'm sure one of Coach Larrabee's fears is UAJ staying in this game for any length of time. The longer you leave an underdog in the game, the more dangerous he becomes.
Although Coach Larrabee's going way down his bench here early in the game. He's put Kevin Bloom in, Mike Childs, Kilpatrick. So he's using a lot of players early.
He told us we would see all 4 of his recruits tonight. So we knew he was going to go 9 deep, but it's only 9 minutes into the game, and he's nine players down the bench.
Okay, and UAJ calls timeout with 11:21 left here in the first half. The Seawolves are on top, 19-14. Tomorrow on KTO TV, a new program premieres called Alaska Online. In this live statewide program, the 4 public television stations in Alaska will be covering the issues that affect our state and our lives. Insurance is the topic of tomorrow's program. Tune in for Alaska Online tomorrow at 8 p.m. Then Rain Country comes on tomorrow at 9. That's a new time for Rain Country. Join host Scott Foster for a sporting look at Southeast that includes bowling, kayaking, skiing, softball, and basketball. And at 9:30, Lori Roberts-Scantling interviews Governor Bill Sheffield on Conversations. That's Thursday on KTO TV, television worth watching. Well, we're almost through the first half of the first half. here, Andy, and it's like you said, the Whales are sort of just hanging in at 19-14, down by 5. The Seawolves really haven't been able to use that height advantage much, although they do have rebounded Wales 9-5, and they have cooled off a little bit. They were 8 for 10 from the field early in the ball game, and now they've now missed their last 4 shots and are 8 for 14. So maybe the Whales are on their way back here.
Okay, we'll set the lineup for you. We've got some substitutions, Jim. We've got Childs, Ligon, Kilpatrick, the 3 Anchorage freshmen, and Bloom, and the rebound's taken off by Dot. And Ganad's back in the game to anchor this lineup. Wilson, he gets the ball across to Miller. Dot fires again, and he hits again, 19-16. Wales trail by 3. Ligon with the ball. I'm sorry, that's Roboteau. Roboteau, 6'5" point guard, handling against Tommy Wilson. He spins. And that was a very correct call as he was pushed off on the spin move. Roboteau trying to get around Tommy Wilson, and Tommy plays chest-to-chest basketball as Coach Markey prescribes it.
Roboteau pushing off, like that's the same type of call they called on Ganad early in the ball game. So both referees coming down on that sort of offensive movement with that off arm.
Wales with the basketball, an opportunity to cut this lead to 1. Rawls back in the game. Dot to Rawls. Rawls spins, guarded there by Childs. Childs over the top of Roboteau. Dot fires over Roboteau. He hits! Doug Dot red hot. 19-18. Inside it goes Ganad. Ganad spins, fires to Bloom in the corner to Childs. Childs with a jump shot, it's good. And that's the first basket in about 4 minutes.
Nice pass by Kevin Bloom.
In the corner to Dot. Rawls attacking the zone to Miller. Wales with a very good shooting lineup in the game. Rawls on top, he fires, he hits. 21-20. Right now, we're living by the jump shot. Let's just stay with it. As Bloom gets the ball in the corner, left-handed dribble. Lob across, stolen by Rawls. Rawls ahead to Coleman. Coleman left-handed layup, it's good. And the Whales lead. And the crowd's alive. 22-21. Roboteau with the ball. Spins against Rawls. On top to Bloom. Bloom looks out the Childs. Shots up, and it's good. And that's hit by Roboteau. And we've been calling Damon Lowry, Lashar, and Rawls, and Damon's been doing a very good job handling the pressure so far against that zone on top. Dot fires from the corner. He hits again. 24-23, and they've got to keep feeding number 35 because he's on a roll. 24-23, the home team leads. Anchorage with the ball, 8:38 remaining. And there's the turnover. And Coach Larrabee, I'm sure, is trying to give an opportunity to his younger players to play in this pressure situation. He knows he has a deep bench. And as long as they stay in the ball game, I think he'll leave them on the floor. Esau calls for a rest. And Rick Beecham comes into the game for Michigan.
Another pretty good outside shooter for Coach Markey. So he has Beecham, Miller, and Dalton all in the ball game. And they all put that ball up on the outside.
Rick's a fine baseline player. Dot. Over to Beecham. Beecham missed the shot. Dot inside position. And he'll be fouled inside there. That foul's going to be on. Foul's on Kilpatrick. Kilpatrick's first personal. Doug Dot will go to the line. Dot sets himself. Fine free throw shooting for him. Wales trying to extend that lead to 3 now.
Mike Smitzer, the starting guard at 6'4", the 6'4" senior from West Homestead, PA. He's the captain of this Wales ball club. He's just checked back in.
He's a fine ball handler. So far, he's been able to handle the Wales press without a turnover and feeds very well inside to the big man. Dot hits the second. 26-23. We're approaching the 8-minute mark. Smitzer beats the press. Behind the back dribble, cross court to Childs. Childs pops the jumper, and it goes down. 26-25, and Anchorage shows poise. Dot drives, puts up the one-hander, and it goes. 28-25. Smitzer penetrates against Lowry. Outside to Childs. Ncaa with the baseline jump shot, and it goes. They're shooting quite a percentage, Jim.
They're back up to 12 for 19 from the floor. As we mentioned, they started out 8 for 10, missed 4 in a row, and since then they've gone 4 for 5 from the floor. So they're going in streaks tonight.
Good ball movement by the Whales as they attack the 2-3 zone pressure of the Anchorage Seawolves. Jump shot by Miller. It's up and it goes. Leave Jeff in that spot, and he'll ring the bell every time.
Anchorage
That's a triple team.
And Anchorage is
Ncaa inside.
Anchorage is not coming out of that zone, are they?
They're going to stay back in there, and I think it's good. They're going to play do or die with the Whales. You can put that shot up, but you're going to have to hit it to stay in the game with us. As Beecham hits it, and they're daring the Whales, and the Whales are calling their bluff. Smitzer with the ball.
Last time down the floor, Coach Larrabee was calling for a new defense. He was yelling 5-5.
Lob pass into Ncaa. He's free. He misses inside. Rebound by Kilpatrick, and he puts it away. One of the first things that go with fatigue is jump shooting ability. The Whales are going to have to show an ability to drive, and there goes Doug Dodd along the baseline, and he scores again. 34-31, and how many is that for Dodd? He's on quite a roll here.
About 10 points for Doug Dodd.
I'm sure he's at least 5 for 5 in his last 5 shots there. Childs with the ball.
There was somebody at Ncaa was out there guarding him, and Doug just rolled right by him like he was standing still there, but there's Ncaa comes down and answers it on his end of the floor.
Inbound pass comes to Lowry. Lowry right side to Beecham. Beecham to Miller. Miller pops. It's over and off. Rebound Coleman. And Coleman tries to power up, and he's going to be fouled by Smitzer. Tommy Wilson returns, and Jeff Miller gets the rest.
So they're going to call that foul on Ncaa. That's his 3rd personal. And I thought that
I don't think he was in that play.
Okay.
Smitzer.
It's going to be on Smitzer.
I'm sure some panic would have gone through the Anchorage bench had they allowed that one to stand. Bloom comes out of the game, and so we have some new players in the lineup for Anchorage as Jesse Jackson, Mike Childs, Jeff Sheedy, Hansi Ncaa, and Mike Smitzer. Coleman at the line, and he hits the bonus. Top front end.
UAJ 7. Well, now I'm going to say now. As soon as I say this, they'll jinx them. But they're now 7 for 7 from the foul line, and that's another thing that you're going to need. You hit those jump shots and hit your free throws. 8 for 8 for UAJ.
Smitzer attacks Dot, and there's the jump ball. And Lowry with the good defense. And possession goes to the Whales. And Coach Larrabee's going to call for a timeout here. The Whales lead by 3.
Well, coming up in February, some heartwarming stories that are great for the whole family. KTOO's got an all-new production of Mark Twain's classic, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Catch the story of this mischievous orphan boy on an American Playhouse. And Wonderworks has a story of an equally high-spirited and mischievous orphan girl in the heartwarming story of Anne of Green Gables. So I guess you'll have to tune in this. That's February on KTOO TV. TV worth watching. Well, what's Coach Larrabee going to be doing here with the Seawolves?
Number one is poise. His kids are away from home. He's got a young team. They've been in some big battles this year. They're not pure freshmen anymore. They've been through the mill. They've played the Missouris. They've played the Eastern Montanas. So they're not going to get rattled. But right now he has to make sure they keep their heads in the game, and he has to keep a blend on the floor of veterans and the freshmen, veterans and the rookies, and bring them along and tell them, hey, you know, the game's not going to be won or lost in 30 seconds here, and the jump shooting is not going to last if we continue to play consistent defense. On the other hand, Coach Markey's got to keep the emotional pitch going. 36-33, 5:50 remaining, first half action. Esau from the free throw line, dishes inside. Beautiful pass inside to Lowry. And the lead is 5, and that's the biggest lead of the game, Jim.
The Whales moving right up. And they're taking UAA out of their ball game. Now we'll see if Mike Smitzer can get the Seawolves settle down and get them back playing that inside game they had going.
Jackson on the baseline, and that man is dangerous with the ball. Number 12, Jesse Jackson, as Dot drives the baseline against Sheedy. Turns, pops, it's over and off. Rebound fought for by Esau. Esau spins, fires, it's no good. Rebound by Ncaa. He hands off to Smitzer. The lead is 3. And I think they'll look for Ncaa every time down. Childs on top. Lob to Ncaa. Ncaa spins, falls away. Shots up and flat. Fought for by Jackson, and he'll get the easy shot inside as the smallest player on the floor. Got good position, and that proves that the small man belongs out there. It's a game of positioning. Beecham with the ball to Dot. Guarded by Sheedy. Lowry with the ball, he spins. Spins outside. Beecham with the shot. He puts it up, it doesn't go. And Ncaa taking control of the boards again. Anchorage looking to regain the lead.
Juneau's cooled off now. Last 2 or 3 times on the floor. Their shots aren't falling, and the Seawolves try to work that inside game one more time here. The Hansi Ncaa.
And Coleman fires, doesn't go. Wilson looks to ignite the break. He looks inside to the wing to Dot, to Beecham, to Lowry. Lowry looks left, dribbles left to Dot. Dot guarded by Sheedy. Pops the jump shot, it's up, it's no good. There's the pitch long to Smitzer. Smitzer one-on-one with Wilson. Looks inside again. No, that's Sheedy, but it's rebounded by Childs. It tips it up twice. Third time it goes. And Childs showed his ability on the boards there. He got position and followed the break and paid off in 2 points.
Not a good shot by Sheedy. I'm sure Coach Larrabee wasn't too pleased with that shot selection, but as you mentioned, good follow-up by...
And there you're going to have a key foul in this ball game.
Coach Larabee's upset there.
Esau pushing for position in there, and it looked like the big guy Ncaa from Anchorage was trying to hold his ground, but Esau had the position.
Hansi Ncaa goes out with his 3rd personal foul, and a controversial call, at least in the eyes of Coach Harry Larrabee.
Kilpatrick into the game. And I'm sure that's going to bring a little ease to the heart of Coach Markey. Anytime you can get an All-American to go to the bench this early in the game. Esau will go to the line 1-1. And it's good. And if you look down the Anchorage roster, you'll see that both their big men are imports, basically. Amon from Stockholm, Sweden, and Hansi Ncaa from Darmstadt, West Germany. So they've done their recruiting far and wide. And there's Pete doing his usual job of drawing the opposition into a lane violation, but he puts it down, 40-39. UAJ regains the lead. Smitzer. Sheedy to Childs. Childs guarded by Miller. And we're going to have a little heated action in here as the game gets a little physical as the 2 little guys get into it.
Pete Esau and Jesse Jackson.
No, I think it was Wilson and Jackson. I think that the little guys were setting some screens in there, and I think they were running into the big guy's elbow, so when the sparks flew, I think they looked for each other.
The foul is called on Tom Wilson of UAJ, and also alert move by Joe Beckstrand. He got in there between the big players, separate them there, or the smaller players separate him.
I wonder if he'd gotten between Amon in there in the fight. 40-39. UAJ with another chance to extend their lead to 3. Bounce pass inside to Esau. Fumbles. Stolen away by Childs. Saved by Childs. Picked up by Esau. He saves to Miller. Miller drives, puts up the one-hander, doesn't go. Rebound by Miller. He spins, pitches outside, picked up by Childs. Anchorage with a chance to regain the lead. Pressure by the Whales. Robiteau with the ball. Childs fires from deep in the corner, and it goes. Anchorage with 3 freshmen on the floor. Robiteau, Ligon, and Childs.
Coach Larrabee exhorting his team to play some defense for a change on one end of the floor. I think he wants to get a little more pressure out there on the perimeter. Foul on Sheedy.
That's on Sheedy. I believe it's his 3rd. That's another key player with... they're announcing his 2nd foul, but I think it's his 3rd.
Amon comes in.
Okay, Amon comes in, gives him the 6'10 player in the middle. He'll be flanked by Sheedy and
we'll see if it'd be interesting to see if
probably Kilpatrick.
See if the Anchorage players get used now to Esau's motion. The last time he took that shot, a lot of them were in the lane too soon. Coach Derby called for a fake, but if it's a player's normal shooting position, his normal rhythm, you can't call him a fake very well if it's not overt, of course. And Pete just sort of sits it up there and has that little pause.
He misses the second. Sheedy rebounds.
First missed foul shot for either team the whole ball game here with 2:36 left to play in the first half.
Well, neither team showing any nervousness. It's late in the season, and you know they've both got some games under their belts, and it's real physical under the boards, I'll tell you. And Larrabee is working the entire baseline, Jim. He's from near the scoreboard, and that time he made it all the way down to the baseline, almost out of the gym.
Coach Larrabee, he thought his player, first of all, thought he was fouled on the shot there, and didn't like the no call, and then the turnover win against him also.
Miller drives, he falls to the floor, pitches outside to Esau. And again, Jim, the 45-second clock hasn't come into play tonight as Miller sends it up, it comes in and out. Went down about as far as it could go. We remain tied, 2 minutes remaining. First half action. Inside to Kilpatrick, he puts it up and in with a pretty spin move. 43-41.
Nice move by Michael Kilpatrick. And now UAA is regain a 2-point lead in this ball game with just over a minute and a half to play in the half.
And Jeff misfires again, and the rebound comes off to Kilpatrick again. The lead is 2. Smitzer with the ball in the corner to Sheedy. Sheedy drives back to Smitzer, to Amon. Amon pitches it back outside to Smitzer. Sheedy from the baseline, he pops. It's no good. Rebound by Coleman. Wilson with the ball, he pitches it outside. Drive by Coleman, he puts it up, bodies fly, no basket, no foul. Smitzer with the ball. 1:12 remaining, first half action. Near steal there by Wilson. Robiteau with the shot, it's up, it's no good. Rebound fought for inside, and we'll have a foul.
That was a white 4-3 with a hold.
There you have it. Called by Joe Beckstrand. And Coleman picks up his second foul.
They're going to call it before the shot, so UAA will have the inbounds play.
Okay, there's the lob inside to Sheedy. Sheedy pitches it outside to Robiteau, to Smetzer, to Amon. Amon spins inside and doesn't get it. Doesn't have much touch, just sort of directs it in the area of the basket. And the big man trails the play as Miller gets in the corner to Wilson, to Miller. Miller sets to Lowry, to Wilson. Now we see a man-to-man played by the Seawolves for the first time today. And there's a shot over and off. Rebound Coleman. Smetzer with the ball. And in that man-to-man matchup, we saw the 6'10" Amon on Jeff Miller, and I'm sure that's the biggest guy ever to guard Jeff. 28 seconds remaining. The shot clock not a factor. It hasn't been a factor the whole game. 23 seconds remaining. UAA with the ball. Robiteau spins, kicks it off to Smetzer. On top, Smetzer running it down. 14 to Robiteau. Robiteau splits 2 players, goes down the middle, loses control. And we'll have an inbounds underneath the Anchorage basket with 10 seconds remaining. And Jim, UAA with the ball underneath their own basket. Anchorage trying to get Childs in the game. They have an inbounds play specifically designed for him. I don't know that they'll run it, but they have a lob play, so the fans may want to watch for it. No, they'll just merely try to get it inbounds. He spins on top to Smetzer. 10. Under 10, there's the lob. They were looking for it. It's a delayed lob. 3 seconds left.
Coach Larrabee.
Coach not pleased. Coleman with the ball, 2 seconds. He sets the one-handers up and no good. He'd go home without the car tonight.
So it's half. So at the end of the first half, the score, University of Alaska Anchorage 43, UAJ 41. This is public television for Southeast Alaska, KTOO TV in Juneau.
Public TV, mystery drama, tales to make you laugh or cry. week, Alaska Online looks at the problem that affects everyone in the state, the increasingly high cost of insurance. Hello, I'm Janine Pohl. The insurance crisis is nationwide, but here in Alaska, doctors, daycare operators, fishermen, and others have been especially hard hit. We'll talk to some of those people this week on Alaska Online.
Okay, this is Andy Lee here at courtside with Jim Griffin. The UAJ Whales trailing the University of Alaska Anchorage by 2 points. Jim, it's been quite the first half.
It has been. Again, it's been so often that this season has been sort of a game of streaks. University of Alaska Anchorage came out blazing hot early in the ball game, went 8 for 10, their first shots from the floor, and then they cooled off a little bit, and then toward the end of the second, and the Whales got a far out as a 5-point lead, and then the Seawolves sort of pulled them back in and again on a rope and took a 2-point lead in at halftime. We'll just go through the individual stats real quick here. UAA, or in the scoring department, we have Jesse Jackson with 2, 4, 6, with 10, 13 points. Hansi Gnad with 12. Mike Childs with 8. Mike Kilpatrick with 4. Vern Roboto has 2. Jeff Sheedy has 2. And Mike Smitzer has 2. And as for Doug Dott, he's the big scorer for UAJ. He has 16 points. Steve Coleman has 6. Pete Esau has 2. And 2 from the floor, and 2, 4, 5, 7, 5 from the line, give him 7. 6 for Damon Lowry, 2 for Tom Wilson, 2 for Jeff Miller, and 2 for Rick Beecham. And we have a judo demonstration going on here, yes. And you have a halftime interview coming up, Andy?
I sure do. Ron Petro, is it? Yes. Athletic Director, University of Alaska Anchorage. Ron, welcome to Juneau.
Thank you. We've had a very enjoyable stay. We came down this morning, went to the University of Alaska Juneau for the first time. Jim Dumont took us around. We're really pleased to be here. Met with some legislatures, saw that action this afternoon, and it's a heck of a game so far.
Oh, it's a beauty. Now, prior to the University of Alaska Juneau Whales being in existence, pretty much you're Alaska's team. We're Southeast team. Fairbanks might be Fairbanks team, but you're the largest university. Tell us a little bit about the university up there.
Oh, sure. The university is about 9 years old now. University of Alaska Fairbanks was the original university. We kind of were initiated by ACC, Anchorage Community College, and in the last 7 years we've grown into a 4-year university. We offer a variety of different majors. We're in Anchorage. We have about 5,000 people head count, about 2,400 full-time students. Just put up dorms now, so we consider ourselves a full university like you guys. Our athletic program has 11 teams, 6 for men and 5 for women, with a host for the Great Alaska Shootout and the Northern Lights Invitational Women's Basketball Tournament, which is coming up at the end of the month.
Well, you know, it sounds fabulous. We watch sort of from afar. We follow the newspapers. We catch you on the air from time to time. And we all took in the tournament on ESPN this year.
Yes.
You have some great programs. Could you tell us a little bit about some of the academic programs? Why would a student want to go to college in Anchorage?
I think the university itself is the focal point for the biggest city in Alaska. We have, as I said, a variety of programs, not only at the undergraduate, but at the graduate level. And I think there's a wide choice for a youngster to come in a College of Arts and Science, the College of Nursing, College of Business. We have 7 colleges affiliated with the university. And they can pretty much pick and choose. One of the unique, I've been here a year and a half. I came a year ago September, and as we all know, Alaska is unique. I think with the dormitories is something I've been looking forward to. It will provide more of a student atmosphere at our home games and more of a campus type of effect, which was lacking in the past. So I think we can really grow into a full university over the next few years and attract some quality students and athletes.
Well, you've already attracted some quality student athletes, and we've appreciated that here tonight. One of the things we'd like to know a little bit more about here is we've been trying to inform the fans about our conference affiliation, about the NAIA. Now, you're 4-0 in your conference presently. What is your conference affiliation? Tell us a little bit about your NC2A affiliation.
Sure, Andy. Our conference in men's basketball is the Great Northwest Conference. There are 6 teams with us: University of Alaska Fairbanks, Puget Sound, it's my New York accent, I think, Eastern Montana, Seattle Pacific, and a new team that just came in from Denver Metropolitan State. So that gives us 6 teams in the league. We're pleased to have that because in a year or two we'll be able to get an automatic bid to the NCAA. We play next year. This particular year we're playing 3 games against each of the opponents. Next year it'll be a true round robin, meaning 1 game at home and 1 game away. Our NCAA affiliation is Division II. In the NCAA, there are 3 divisions. Division I, the big-time programs, the Notre Dames, the UCLAs, the Georgetowns. Division II, that we can give scholarships, provide athletic aid. And Division III, which there aren't too many of in the West Coast, which is pretty much the soul of athletics, where there's no scholarships and you play for the love of playing. So we think that in Anchorage, our program is in Division II. Our hockey program is in Division I, playing at the top level. All of our other programs are in Division II.
Okay, you know, we've followed the hockey program. It's been very successful. You had some outstanding athletes there as well. And we noticed as we look up and down your roster, you have quite a few regions and even countries represented on your basketball roster.
Especially in basketball, yes. We have Ncaa from West Germany. And Hansi has developed into an excellent basketball player, a real true potential pro. Yeah, I mean, he will get drafted at the completion of his years next year. He's filled out, he's 6'10". Pierre Aman is from Sweden, who's a rookie. He doesn't look like it out there if you look at it, but his skills are lacking at this point. We're pleased that we have 5 players from Anchorage, Alaska, from East High School last year, Mike Childs, and from West High School, Mike Kilpatrick, and Chugiakis, Mern Roboto. We're pleased that we were able to recruit some of the homegrown. I noticed in the paper your coach would have liked to have had some of those players, and we do have a shootout, which is a great attraction. But Coach Larrabee, we're always looking at, I think all of us are, at University of Alaska Fairbanks, for the Alaskan player if we can get them. And sometimes they fit, sometimes they don't. And but we do make a point of trying to recruit some Alaskan players. But then again, we do have to recruit outside in order to be competitive. I think our schedule is very difficult, not only the league, but the Great Alaska Shootout. And we play in some Division I tournament all the time. So everybody expects the coach to win. So walks that fine line of trying to recruit excellent players, good student athletes, Anchorage players, not too many junior college players. So, you know, and to mix them all together to have a winning team.
Exactly. Now, there's been some talk, we noticed it in the paper today, about an intrastate tournament coming up in the future. Do you have any information?
Sure. Not official yet, but there's enough of hearsay out into the community. We would certainly like next year, and we plan on doing this, if we can get some corporate sponsorship to provide some money for the tournament. So it wouldn't cost anybody any money getting there and living there. To have a tournament with University of Alaska Fairbanks, University of Alaska Juneau, ourselves, and APU. As most people may know, APU, Alaska Pacific University, is initiating an athletic program next year. We think it'd be a great idea to initiate the season with an all-Alaskan tournament, a pre-tournament, so to speak, a tip-off tournament, where we bring 4 teams to one site. Probably next year the site would be Anchorage. Probably the following year would be Fairbanks, and if the program continues to grow here, we come down to Juneau. And we'd alternate that every 3 years. And each team would act as a host, and we think we can get some sponsorships, so it wouldn't hurt our budgets too much. I think we'd draw a tremendous amount of fan interest. We have a nice crowd this evening. Then we'd have something that's within Alaska, which I think is important. That's what we're striving to.
I think that's an excellent idea. Coach, we got a 43-41 ball game. Any feelings about that?
Well, you guys have been great. I mean, they've been hitting those. I don't know what the shooting percentage is, but Juneau's got to be in the 75% range. And I think we're getting our shots and making them, but they've had a great first half. And I think that happens when the underdog is a little undersized, but put out 115%. And you're just hitting a lot of long outside shots. If you continue to do that, you're certainly going to be in the game. Jesse Jackson has not played very much for us. I'm not sure why. This is not an excuse by any stretch of the imagination, but we have 2 stars at home. One who's ill, Tyrone Jones, and another player who we just kept home for academic reasons because of the long trip. But your guys are playing great. I mean, it's a fantastic first half, and I'm sure our coach is upset with 43 points on the board. But those are long. If you see the line out there, they'd be 3-pointers. You would be up by 10 points if we had 3-point goals here.
Well, maybe we could play 3-point at our end.
Well, you're not the referee.
At any rate, Coach, we sure enjoyed having you here. We hope you enjoy your stay, and we look forward to seeing you in Anchorage next year.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Jim, there we have it. an outstanding program up at Anchorage, and we can see why. They have some outstanding people in administration and put some outstanding student athletes on the floor.
Certainly, you talk to people around the state that follow Alaskan sports, and that's one thing they'll tell you about Athletic Director Petro is that he is enthusiastic, and that certainly came across in your interview. Is a very positive, enthusiastic guy. He puts on a great shootout every year around Thanksgiving time, and if he's going to go for that Alaskan tournament, don't bet against him. He's going to pull it off.
Well, you know, he talked about one of the keys being corporate sponsors, and you know, they grew the shootout from little or nothing into something that's on ESPN, which has, I don't have any statistics to support this, but has got to be the #1 sports channel, and I'm not boosting them, but you know, they cover it all, and the shootout was there. Anchorage was featured in one of the games, and you know, he grew that, and I think that, like you said, if he says he can do it, we'll see it happen.
Well, at halftime, the score is Anchorage 43, UAJ 41. The second half is coming up. This is public television for Southeast Alaska, KTOO TV, Juneau.
Great performances present the blues, the girls, the jazz, the stars, the Cotton Club. But don't take the A train. It's only on great performances.
Airs Saturday night at 10 right here on KTOO TV.
Public TV goes front row center, premier performances galore. You'll turn us on and you'll love it. TV worth watching, worth paying for.
Mystery, a series of classic thrillers hosted by Vincent Price, Friday evenings at 9 and Sunday evenings at 10 on KTOO TV, Juneau.
Okay, welcome back to Juneau Douglas High School Gymnasium, where the UAJ Whales are putting on quite a show. They're the underdog, and Jim, the underdogs trail by 2.
Well, Coach Petro, I think we were just talking about some people at the score bench here at halftime. I had UAJ down for about 38% from the floor because they went through one stretch there where they were about 1 for 10, 1 for 9, but they had the first part of the half they were hot, and this last part of the half they were hot, and in between they were a little cold, and fortunately they kind of went cold the same time UAA did, and they didn't lose contact. As I mentioned, I had 15 for 40 from the floor is what I had for UAJ in the first half. University of Anchorage was 20 for 36, 55%. From the free throw line, 92% for UAJ, 11 for 12, and UAA was 3 for 3. The Seawolves out-rebounded the Whales, 18 to 13, and in turnovers, Seawolves turned the ball over 6 times, and the Whales only twice. So good, they took care of the ball. They didn't really get much pressure from UAA outside. We noted in the first half, UAA kind of let Juneau sit out there and take those perimeter shots a lot, and just toward the end of the first half, they came out and started playing man-to-man. And it'll be interesting to see if Coach Larrabee comes out with man-to-man, or if he drops back into that zone, because he has the big man with 3 personals. He might want to play the zone to protect the big man, or he might want to go out there and chase those UAJ perimeter shooters.
I don't know that they're going to want to chase those shooters. I think he's going to, you know, Mon is a big guy. He wants to keep him on the floor. I don't think he can cover Esau on the open court. On the other hand, Ncaa has 3 fouls, and I don't think they want to risk picking up the 4th one early. And I think on the offensive end, if they're just patient, I think the Seawolves can do just about anything they want to do. I think a statistical key is going to be there was a difference of 4 in favor of the Whales in turnovers. They had 4 less turnovers. On the other hand, there was a difference in 5 in the rebounding in favor of the Seawolves. So I think whichever team can close the gap on the other one in one of those categories is going to come out the winner in this ball game. And I'll be interested in seeing if the Whales can maintain the gap in turnovers, not make any on their own, and force some at the other end in order to negate the edge in rebounding. That's going to be there.
Smitzer sat on the bench for a good part of the first half, too. I think maybe Coach Larrabee will play him a little bit more in the second half. He seems to be maybe their best ball handler. Plus, he's a senior. We mentioned against that our last TV game with Simon Frazier about having your cool heads on the floor. If the humpback whales hang into the ball game much longer, I think you'll see the veterans for UAA stay on the floor, like Smitzer.
Right, and another key that the athletic director Petro alluded to was that Jesse Jackson, JJ, hasn't been on the floor very much. He got a little hot-tempered in the first half. Coach Larrabee sat him down, and he seemed to be scoring at will with penetration. They say he's an outstanding outside shooter, but in actuality, he didn't have to take the perimeter shot because he was able to get inside. We're about 10 seconds away from second half action. We got quite a crowd. The crowd seemed to get into the game more and more as the Whales fell behind, and the crowd seemed to lift them back into the game. It'll be interesting to see if the fans sit back and wait for something to happen, or if they're going to come in and help the underdog to victory here tonight.
As always, one of the biggest ingredients in the Whales playing a successful ball game is intensity, and Coach Markey's going to keep that intensity level turned up and maybe keep the pressure and try to put some more full court pressure on. We haven't seen UAJ come out in that press as much as they did in past ball games. They have been given pressure at midcourt. Tom Wilson's picking up his man around midcourt, but not that real backcourt press pressure they've used in previous games.
I think one of the keys to that is I think the coach is aware of that. If they play that full court defense, their offense is going to suffer. They're not going to have the patience. They're not going to be able to hit that long-range jumper. So he's backed them off a little bit, and they've been able to apply good half-court pressure at the same time.
Doesn't want to tire himself out playing too hard defense and keep his offensive guns fresh.
And unlike most games, you won't see Coach rotate as many players because he's got to keep those players who are perimeter shooters on the floor. Okay, Smitzer with the inbounds pass. He's guarded by Lowry. Man-to-man defense by the Whales as usual. Smitzer with the ball to Sheedy. Sheedy looks inside, lob pass to Childs. Childs comes up inside. He's blocked in there, blocked twice. Rebounds, puts it up again. Childs is a physical specimen. He's not only 6'5", he's filled out and already mature as a freshman physically. The lead is 4. Coleman spins inside, puts up the one-hander, and he gets it to roll, and we're talking about another mature freshman. Although he has a year of college under his belt, this is his first year of basketball. Smitzer looks low to Childs. High to Sheedy. Lob pass into the Gnad. Gnad was positioned. He slams it through, and I've been waiting for that all night because it's been there. And Gnad is trying to make his presence felt here. I think he's a little bit upset by the fact he got 3 early, and the refs got 3 calls on him early. Esau to Miller, to Lowry, to Wilson, to Jackson, and he shoots up that knuckleball, and it doesn't drop. Smetzer with the ball, Sheedy with the rebound. 47-43, 18:50 remaining, second half action. The lead is 4. UAA looking to extend it to 6. Jackson with the ball. He looks to Childs. Childs high post. Childs spins. Bounce pass to the baseline to Sheedy. Shot clock at 25. Sheedy muscles inside. Top of the key to Gnad. Gnad to Smetzer. Inside to Jackson. Jackson floats inside, floats up the one-hander and gets it. When I say floats, he did that very effortlessly, Jim.
UAA just coming out, a lot more motion their first 2 or 3 times down the floor second half. They seem to be a little fired up. I think Coach Larrabee might have lit a fire under them at halftime.
Well, I think he told him a little bit about pride being on the line in this game. Smetzer with the ball. Looks inside to Sheedy, stolen away by Coleman. 2-on-1, and there's Lowry who gets it, and he loses it, and kicks it into Smetzer. Smetzer with the ball. 3-on-3. Smetzer stops, takes the 12-footer. It's over. It's off. Rebound by Jackson. Jackson inside, puts it on the floor once, and hits the layup. 51-43. Wilson bringing the ball up the floor. UAA leads by 8. The Whales trying to keep them from getting away early. It'll be tough to play catch-up against such a large team. And there's the call inside. They're going to call the basket good. Esau hits the layup. The Seawolves looking for the charge. 51-43.
The call was on Mike. The call was on Mike Smetzer, and it was before the block was called before Coleman went up in the air with the shot. So that's the type of call I don't think either coach was pleased with. I think Coach Larrabee didn't like the block call, and I think Coach Markey wanted to call on the shot.
Miller with the ball, fires from the outside, and he hits. 51-45, and Doug Dott remains on the bench. He had a very hot hand in the first half, and I'm sure we'll see him soon. Drive baseline by Jackson. He forces one up, taken away by Childs. Lobs inside to Gnad. Gnad patiently stops, pops the Pops the 8-footer. He just held it up above everyone, waited for the flurry to stop, and very gracefully did the job. He saw drives inside, bounce pass to Miller. Wilson. Ncaa baseline. Turnover Wales. Something the Wales cannot afford to do.
There's 2 turnovers now for the Wales second half, so they've matched their first half total. And as we mentioned, Anchorage, the first few times on the floor, a lot more movement, a lot more poise than they had most of the first half.
Childs with the ball to Smitzer. Looks in the post to Ncaa, to Childs. Ncaa outside to Sheedy. Lob over to Ncaa. Ncaa inside with the layup. The lead is 10, and that's the biggest lead of the game for either team. And Ncaa working the boards over. And there's a quick timeout by Markey, Coach Markey of the Wales. Trying desperately to stop the inside game of the Seawolves.
So just that easy, the first 3.5 minutes here of the second half, Coach Larrabee comes out and with the UAA Seawolves, and they just run their ball game. They did that early in the ball game. They sort of just took control of the offense, and they got out of that a little bit. And now I think he says, "Hey, enough of this fooling around. Let's go back to our original game plan." Andy, is that how you see it?
It worked for them early, and they went away from it. They were taken out of it somewhat by the Wales speed and open court game, and I think they started shooting a few outside shots themselves, and they hit a few, and it took them out of their basic, fundamental, discipline passing game, and now they're back into it, and they're successful.
Plus, Coach Larrabee made a lot of substitutions in the first half. I have a feeling that maybe he doesn't normally do it that way. I think he probably was letting a lot of people play, and maybe he sort of contributed to taking them out of their normal game a little bit. And now he's probably got more of his standard 5 players on the floor. Although, as Athletic Director Petro mentioned, they do have 2 starters that are not here tonight, and the Seawolves come out cruising here the first 3 minutes of the second half, and see what the Wales do to adjust.
Well, early in the game, we saw 4 freshmen on the floor for Anchorage. Now we see 1, and he's an outstanding freshman, Mike Childs, and they're back in that zone. And I think you're right. He was going to give everyone a chance to play, get involved in the game early, and now he's down to the basics. Childs 6'5" on top of that zone, tough to shoot over. Lowry fires from outside, and he cans it. The lead is 8. Smitzer with the ball, chased by Wilson. Crossover dribble, comes to the top of the key. They look for Jackson. Jackson from the 3-point range, and he answers quickly. There's a defensive change for the Seawolves as they go man-to-man. Inside to Coleman. He sneaks one up and in. 57-49. Smitzer with the ball. To Sheedy. Childs the corner to Jackson. Same spot he just canned one from. Miller with the steal. Lowry with the quick up-court pass to Coleman. And we had a foul in the open court. The basket will not count. Dot checks in for Lowry.
So they're wiping. I guess I didn't see what was going on there. They're wiping that basket off by Coleman, and they're calling a block on Smitzer out front.
Right, early in the play. 8-point lead. UAJ trying to carve it to 6. Coleman with the ball. He tossed out there by Ncaa. Miller shoots from outside, and it's rebounded by Ncaa. Ncaa in the man-to-man doesn't have to guard the Wales very close. He's got those long arms. He can back off, help inside, and proving to be very effective. Inside Ncaa. Ncaa spins, puts the one-hander. It's up, short, it's off. Smitzer slaps it up high. Childs with the rebound. He spins inside, puts it up, 2 hands, no good. Rebound by Coleman. Coleman to Wilson to Dot. Dot will stop. Send it to Wilson. Wilson free throw line. He puts it away, and the Wales refuse to go away. Stolen away by Coleman. To Miller. To Wilson. Wilson stops, pops, drops. Timeout. Anchorage.
And the crowd responds.
The Wales refuse to go away. And I think Anchorage fellas got a little complacent there. They were able to work some half-court offense. The Wales came out, extended their defense full court, and caused a few turnovers.
So again, the intensity level going up and down for University of Alaska Juneau. It was about 2 minutes ago, looking at the clock, that Coach Markey caught his timeout, and he was down by 10 points. Now he's down by 4. In 2 minutes, he's close to 4, and now it was Larrabee's turn to call the timeout. Coach Larrabee, I detected in that pregame interview with him, he sort of Alaska's answer to Abe Lemons. He has sort of that sort of semi-soft Texas draw, and it seems like he sort of shuffles in saying, "Aw, shucks, we're just a bunch of country guys who just play this type of game, and nice being down here."
He'll lull you to sleep.
And just, and hopefully doesn't pull that same act on his players here.
Well, I have to tell you, when Coach Larrabee was a high school player, he was the #1 guard in Texas. Out of high school, #1 guard in college in Texas during his college years. And
like I said, I grew up in Texas before I came to Alaska, and Coach Larrabee, basketball, if you knew anything about basketball, not many people in Texas did in my younger days, but if you did follow the game at all, you knew the name Harry Larrabee.
Inbounds pass to Smitzer. Full court defense applied by the Whales. He's hawked by Miller and Coleman. Left-handed dribbler beats both. On top to Jackson. Jackson holding the ball high over his head. Smitzer calls out the play. High post to Sheedy. Doesn't go to Sheedy, goes to Childs. Looks inside to Ncaa. Ncaa comes up high post. Whips it across to Jackson. Jackson looks inside. He comes down the lane, spins. One-hander puts it up. And it goes. We'll have a foul.
Score the bucket, fouls are white, 1-2 on the arm.
When he comes down that lane, he shows not only strength, Jim, but he shows, I'm sorry, not only quickness, but he shows some strength because he's getting wrapped and he still has touch on that ball.
That was a nice play there. Tommy Wilson hit him on his way up, but he kept control of the ball. And like you said, that nice little Jesse Jackson touch, and now 3-point play. Just what the doctor ordered for the Seawolves, and they move up back to a 7-point lead.
14:28 remaining, and it's early, but it's a crucial time for the Whales. A couple of baskets, they could be out over 10, or a couple of baskets, and they could be, you know, a point or two away from the lead. So this is a very crucial time. They'll need to convert here. Esau drives baseline on Ncaa, puts it up short. Jackson with the ball. Free throw line to Childs. Not much substitution going on now. They've settled down to the teams they feel can win this ball game for them. Smetzer beats Miller. Drives. Stolen away by Wilson. Wilson with a 2-on-1. Outside to Miller. Miller stops. Back to Wilson. Lob pass over to Coleman. Coleman drives on Ncaa, puts it up, and it goes.
Nice cross-court pass for the Whales there.
Smetzer with the ball. He's hawked by 2 Whales.
They put Jeff Miller out and Smetzer, and Wilson's now moved over to cover Jackson.
Ncaa on top. He dives inside, sets a screen for Sheedy. Jackson spins, he's double teamed. He forces one up. High above the rim as Mike Childs to tip that one in, and he was up there waiting when the ball got there, Jim.
Great jumping ability, great leaping ability. One of Chuck White's products out of East Anchorage.
There's the fast break as Jackson sneaks away. He misses the jam. I'm not sure Larrabee's real pleased with that one. But it tells you something about Jackson. He's the smallest player on the floor. He's an inch smaller than Tommy Wilson. And he's up there high above the rim, and he just simply looked back to check the defense, lost sight of the rim, and missed the dunk. 7-point lead. Wales now with a chance to make a 4-point turnaround as Coleman has it top the key. He'll drive the middle against Sheedy, and he'll put it up. It doesn't go. Rebound by Jackson as he goes high on the board to get that one. Jackson with the ball outside. Lob to Ncaa. Ncaa spins. Kicks it back outside to Smetzer, to Jackson. Jackson calling out the play. Simple screen and post to Kilpatrick. Kilpatrick pumps, puts the one-hander up. It doesn't go. Ncaa keeps it and executes the fundamentals inside. Esau with the rebound. Esau breaks out. Drive, stops, kicks it out the Dot. Dot with the one-hander, it goes! 62-57, Esau length of the floor with the dish off. Smetzer with the ball. He goes around Beecham into the game. To Jackson, Jackson sets, shoots from the corner, doesn't get it. And that foul's gonna be on inside on Kilpatrick. And things not going the Seawolves' way as the Whales coming back.
Roboto
into the game, and Sheedy comes out.
Ncaa doing the part of cheerleader down on the defensive end, trying to keep the Seawolves up in this thing. Dot another jumper.
Ncaa with the rebound. We're going to see Mike Mostolato for the first time tonight. We'll see what our big guy can do in here. Smitzer with the ball. 5-point lead by the Seawolves. Stolen away by Coleman. Coleman 2-on-1, fakes, shoots. Doesn't get it to go, and he charges. He may have had an opportunity to give that one up. Should have, Jim.
That time now, Smitzer's been on the floor a lot tonight. Previous 2 times they called blocks on him. This time the foul goes the other way, and I did think that Smitzer got down there and got set on Steve Coleman. Like you said, better move for Steve there. Might have been a dish off.
5-point lead now for the Seawolves. Roboteau into the game. Ncaa, Jackson. Pass goes to Jackson. Low post to Ncaa. Ncaa looking for someone open. Smitzer to Ncaa. Ncaa spins, shoots the high arching shot. It's up, over, and off. And you know, the Seawolves again have gotten away from their basic game, getting it to Ncaa inside. He's having to come out in the high post now to get possession of the ball. He's having to come away from the basket, and it's hurting their game.
Fouled Mostolato. He fouled Ncaa on that jump shot.
Ncaa at the line.
The Whales anked up, and now Coach Markey wants a timeout. Well, there's still one more Whales basketball game ahead on KTOO TV. Friday and Saturday, the Whales play Whitworth, and KTOO will be televising the Saturday game at 8 p.m. That's the last home game of the season, so we'll want you to see you here cheering in the Whales. Also, we'll have a season wrap-up at the end of February.
Wow.
So Whitworth comes to town, and then there's one last road trip for the Whales. Sort of the latter part of February, they head down to the Seattle area, and they'll be playing Pacific Lutheran University on the 18th. A rematch with St. Martin's, and St. Martin's getting knocked off up here in Juneau. I think they'll probably be itching for revenge, right? And then they close the season against Seattle University, who in past years have been NC2A Division I school, but I think a few years ago they went with a sort of a lesser program, Indy, and are they NAIA?
They are now NAIA, and not only that, they played Georgetown earlier in the season. As a matter of fact, kicked off Georgetown season on their road trip on their way to Hawaii. And I think they've fallen victim to some financial difficulties and things. They went Division II and found that not to their liking simply because of the range they had to travel. Now they're NAIA, they're in the same conference as the Whales, and I think that's an important game for the Whales simply because one of those two teams is going to be in or near the basement, along with Sheldon Jackson. It'll be a matter of pride there. Also, St. Martin's and Pacific Lutheran, those games are going to be key conference games as they try to decide what 4 teams are going to the playoffs. And Whitworth is in that hunt for a conference playoff spot as Ncaa puts the first one down and lead a 6.
Seattle University is also the alma mater of Coach Markey, isn't it?
Yes, as well. I thought you were going to say Elgin Baylor, one of my favorites. And Ncaa gets it to go down to lead a 7. 11:19 remaining. Second half action here at Juneau Douglas High School Gymnasium.
UAA now 6 for 6 from the foul line tonight. So whenever they got to the line, they've done the job there.
Mostolato on top. Looks inside. Gets it off to Tom Wilson. Inside to Mostolato. Mostolato spins, puts up the one-hander. Soft touch, doesn't go. Stick taken away by Dot. Dot fires from his favorite spot. Doesn't go. He's cooled off. Beecham fires. It's good. 10:43 remaining. Whales battle the boards. The lead is 5. 10:38 remaining. On top to Roboteau. Inside to Ncaa. Ncaa spins. Bank shot is good. Wilson with the ball. The lead is still 7. We're approaching the 10-minute mark. Wilson to Beecham. Beecham in the corner to Dot. Dot spins looking over the shorter Jackson, and Jackson will be called for the block. Jackson lost his head earlier, but proves to be a cool customer now. Applauds the call. Wilson inbounds. Esau back in the game. Pete. Hawk there by the Seawolves. Pete on top to Wilson. Wilson looks left, looks right. Back to the left, spins against Smitzer. Outside to Esau. Pete drives, beats his man, puts up the one-hander. Soft touch drops. 66-61. Neither team wants to fold now. We settled on a 5-7 point ball game. The Seawolves will have to decide if it's going to go 10, and the Whales will have to decide if it's going to go 1. Near steal in there by Wilson. One-hander put up there. We're going to have a foul on the inside. This game goes back and forth. Who's that foul going to be on, Jim?
Pete Esau called for the foul underneath. Pete looked like he had position on Kilpatrick, and then at the last minute the ball went the opposite way. Kilpatrick beat him to the spot on the floor, and Pete trying to maintain that position with the bump foul. It's sort of unusual to call the foul on the man inside, but I think he's sort of a victim of circumstances there. The ball sort of jumped off to the side there to him, and I think Kilpatrick got to the spot on the floor first.
Been a fairly clean game, Jim. Not many fouls called. As soon as I say that, the whistle blows.
Mike Maslach with his second personal. He's getting his hand up there with Ncaa Affiliation. You can see some Wales to be able to sort of look Ncaa, well, maybe not in the eye, but in the throat at least, huh?
Well, Ncaa has one very good fundamental. Among the many, he's a very fundamental player. He's been well coached, well taught at some early stage. But one of the things he does very well is keeps the ball above his head. The smaller players can't get to it. You'll notice he gets a rebound, the ball never gets below his shoulders. If he has the ball in the high post, the same thing. The ball is always near a shooting position or in a good passing position. So
sort of that Jack Sickman mechanic of the Sonics. He
very
always keeps
good
that ball high.
Very good comparison. Rebound taken away by Wilson. Wilson drives to Dot baseline. Dot nearly traveled, taken away by Robiteau. Robiteau bring it up to Smitzer. In the corner to Jackson, to Gnad. Gnad spins with the skyhook. It's a very soft, doesn't go. Rebound taken off by Dot.
And that's Smitzer's fourth personal, I believe.
Fouls on Smitzer. And you're right, Jim, that's his fourth as Esau inbounds to Wilson. And I'm sure Coach Larrabee will be getting someone up off his bench with 9 minutes remaining in this game. Wilson drives, puts up the one-hander. And into the game comes Childs, and there's not much trade-off there.
Oh, no, and Smitzer fouled out of the ball game before Coach Larrabee can make a substitution.
Just incredible.
That was incredible, and Smitzer can't believe it. And that's what makes coaches. That's what gives coaches gray hair or
exactly
loses hair. Mike Smitzer played a heck of a ball game here, but there's still a lot of it left to play. And
I didn't want you to say he played a whale of a game.
I almost slipped out.
Wilson fires from behind the three-point line out there. Rebound taken off by Childs. Hands off to Robiteau. Robiteau calling the plays now. He dishes it off. And right away it shows that Smitzer isn't in the game, as there's a quick turnover there. And Robiteau, a freshman, may not be able to handle. He's a fine ball handler, a fine player, but he may not be accustomed to that pressure the Whales are applying.
This will be interesting. Smitzer, the best ball handler, gone. See if the Whales turn up the pressure on those guards. Although Jesse Jackson can do some ball handling, they might have to bring him outside and give him the ball more out there.
And as quick as you can say Jesse Jackson, there's 2 more points on the board. 69-61. Mastelotto, low post, spins with the power move. He gets the one-hander to go. Mastelotto didn't play the first half, but I'm sure the coach now is asking, maybe I should have put this guy in. We're going to have a foul out on top on Beecham. We have a foul, Jim.
Rick Beecham, his first personal.
Both teams will be in the bonus next time around. Approaching the 8-minute mark. Childs looks for Kilpatrick down low. High to Gnad. Gnad to Kilpatrick. And the freshman puts it on the floor and travels.
12th turnover for the Seawolves tonight versus 6 for the Whales, so that turnover stat staying pretty well. But rebounding, the Seawolves have pulled away. And 32 boards for the Wolves, and I got 19 for the Whales.
Patience keeping the Whales in the game. 6 points down, chance to cut it to 4. Esau with the ball. We've settled into a ball game now. Any thoughts of a blowout have probably washed aside. Dot from 20, it's on the way, it doesn't go, and he's cooled off in the second half. Roboteau with the ball. He's hocked by Beecham. Inside to Ncaa. He's doubled there. Childs inside, one-hander, puts it up and good. Very soft touch that close to the basket. That's one of the most difficult shots in the game. The lead is 8 with 7 on the clock. Beecham with the ball down low. Mastelotto, baseline left. On top to Wilson. Wilson drives. Lob over to Dot. Dot to Beecham. Beecham baseline. And that shot is put in row 10 by Ncaa. Very controlled block. I'm sure that's one of the things that makes the pro scouts look at Ncaa is the fact that he had a chance to blast that ball back to Anchorage. He kept it in play, made a very controlled, didn't follow through and get the foul. Fine player.
Ncaa played the whole second half though, picking up a foul. He had 3 fouls the first half.
Beecham with the ball. Puts the shot up, no good. Sheedy with the rebound. Sheedy back in the game now for the Seawolves.
Sheedy with 4 personals.
8-point lead, a chance to go to 10 for the Seawolves. Childs with the ball. He throws the flare pass deep. Sheedy from Jackson. Lowry nearly steals it away. Jackson. Roboteau with the ball. Sheedy on top. Childs looks, baseline pass. Roboteau with the turnaround, it's no good. Ncaa with the rebound, fall away, bank shot's no good. Sheedy with the rebound off the board, and it's good. The lead is 10, 6:15 remaining. Again, that rebounding margin showed up right there, Jim.
Sure did, Andy. That inside game starting to tell. And the thing about the Seawolves, they didn't have very good position, but they were still getting the boards through their height. The UAJ, they have to work for every rebound. They have to get position, block out, and get the rebound. The Seawolves prefer to stand around and go.
Jackson fouls. That's his second personal. Mastelotto goes to the bench, and Miller comes back in. And Miller comes back in because of the 10-point lead. They're going to have more perimeter shooting as Beecham comes out. And we're back to that perimeter lineup that did so well in the first half with Coleman, Dot, and Miller, and Lowry and Esau. And we're going to see if they can bring the Whales back here. Esau, the one-hander, puts it up. All net. Got some people watching this game tonight at the Southeast Correctional Center we want to say hi to. They asked me to say good luck to the Whales tonight, so that's from Chip and the guys. Inbounds pass comes to Roboteau. Roboteau handling the ball against Miller. Drives to the baseline, fakes the shot to Childs. Childs with the soft one-hander, it's up. Rebound Ncaa, he puts it off the board. Very nice play. All in one motion, rebound, set himself, squared himself on the floor. And again, the ball never went below his shoulders. The lead is 10. Dot outside, hawked by Childs. Childs drives inside. Esau, guarded by Ncaa. Jackson. Defense is Lowry as Roboteau. Harasses Miller. Dot fakes. Shoots, it's partially blocked by Coleman. Coleman inside, puts it up, and doesn't go. Joe Beckstrand will give us the call.
4-2 with a push on the shot. We got 2.
Okay, Joe. That's Joe Beckstrand, local official, doing a fine job tonight.
I think Coach Markey felt that Dot perhaps got hit on rather than a clean block on that first shot, but as it turned out, Steve Coleman picked up the foul and the rebound, so perhaps the same difference.
Coleman at the line.
14 for 15 tonight for the Whales on the foul line, so they, like the Seawolves, putting on a real good exhibition posture.
Excellent shooting. 75-67, the lead is 8. Roboteau with the ball. Roboteau to Childs. To Jackson. Jackson pops the 22-footer. Over and off, and there's the rebound. Childs. Miller with the ball in perimeter. The lead is 10. Esau pops the 12-footer. 15-footer. It's good. We're under 5 minutes now. Roboteau with the ball. Guarded closely by Miller. To Ncaa on the outside. Jackson in the post-up. To Sheedy on top. They'll look for Ncaa on the inside. Roboteau, the left-hander drive. Pumps, shoots. Doesn't get it to go. It's going to be saved by Sheedy. Loose ball picked up. Jackson controls. He'll slow it down. Roboteau with the ball outside. Drives inside to Ncaa. Ncaa sets himself, and he's going to be fouled by Esau. Miller comes into the game. Joe Beckstrand makes the call. And just like we've got a lot of freshmen, sophomores, first and second year players out here on the floor, Jim, college basketball came to UAJ last year, and it was a new experience for the Officials Association as well, and they've made a tremendous adjustment, preparing themselves for these games, coming out, making the adjustment to the new rules, the shot clock and things. And I know you officiate, and you know the difficulty of doing several different levels of basketball.
Caliber, you try to call at different levels, and the better players want to be able to allow them to play a little bit more. And there is a distinct difference if you call a game at the level the players play, and it's hard.
They've done a fine job. We want to congratulate them as the season nears an end. As the ball comes up the floor to Dot, taken away by Robiteau. The lead is 10. UAA now with an opportunity to go 12-point lead. Lowry hucking Robiteau, the left-hander having some difficulty. He's 6'5", shows some good ability. Pumps it off to Sheedy. A fundamental move as Jackson tells him, settle down, and that's exactly what they need at this point. Screened by Jackson. Childs with the ball.
I think maybe Jackson felt Robiteau was handling the ball a little bit too much one-on-one there.
Right, and that's a freshman mistake. He's trying to get in position to make the pass, and he's paying too much attention to his dribble. Childs with the ball on top. Sheedy open now, 2-on-1, he drives, lobs inside to Ncaa, very nice. The lead is 12. Loose ball picked up by Wilson. 3:36 remaining. Wales trail by 12. Drive baseline by Coleman. He puts up the one-hander, and it goes.
Nice move by Steve Coleman. I think he changed the momentum in the air. He faked him one way, and then he moved his body the other way while he was still in the air. How do you do that, Andy?
Well, I don't have the secret to that one. It's just something. I don't think when you leave the floor, you can't know what you're doing. And we have a foul on the floor. Heavily protested by the Whales. Foul's on Coleman for the elbow. That'll send. Do we have a technical foul here? Perhaps a flagrant call as all the players gather at midcourt. Doesn't appear to be so.
I didn't see what went on all there. I guess
Coleman's quite a competitor. Got caught in the crowd there. I think he was just trying to clear the ball. And the intensity level in this game already high, Jim, has raised one pitch.
I'd say Wales trying to stay in it now. They're down by 10. The Seawolves almost to the point now where if they use up their 45 seconds on each possession down the court, just about run it out.
Wilson with the ball. Right side to Esau. Esau drives it wide open. Puts up the bank. It doesn't go. Tipped by Coleman. Picked up by Robideau. 3 minutes remaining. And now they put the ball in the hands of the veteran, Jackson with the ball. Jackson to Robiteau. Back to Jackson. Tight man-to-man by the Whales. Near steal by Wilson. Childs with the ball. To Jackson. I think we'll see Jackson doing the bulk of the ball handling from here on in.
Shot clock's down to 15.
He'll penetrate. Puts up the floating one-hander, and there'll be an offensive call there, and that could be a shooting call, as I believe he had released the call, and that would send Esau to the line.
After the shot with a push.
And the Whales are by no means out of this ball game.
A common foul called on Jesse Jackson. So if the shot had gone in, it would have counted, and we still have been shooting one-on-one.
Jackson his third after the shot. So at the line, shooting 1 plus the votes, number 44, Esau.
Okay, Esau will show the one-handed free throw shooting style here. It's on the way. No good. Critical free throw. Lowry drives baseline. Esau to Wilson. To Dot. Dot will fire. It's on the way. Good. Wales in striking distance now. They'll have to play some tight D. Long lead pass to Childs. Ncaa waved him off on the lob. Jackson with the ball. Looks in the corner. Childs back to Jackson. 30 seconds left on the shot clock. Jackson spins, hands off to Robiteau. Left-hander dribbles in. Looks back outside. Loses the dribble. Stolen away by Lowry. Here come the Whales. 1:50 remaining. They trail by 8. They'll look for Dot.
They want to get some shots up.
There's Wilson from way outside. Oh, man. Wilson got himself set and hit the long one-hander. The lead is 6. Robiteau with the ball. That's a good foul. They're going to put the freshman on the line. He hasn't been having an easy time of it ball handling, and I'm sure Coach Larrabee will probably call a timeout pretty soon. He's hoping to force Coach Markey into a timeout, actually, but he'll probably tell the guys, get the ball to Jackson and get out of the way.
We'll see how UAA tries to break the press. As we mentioned before, some teams pass it up the floor. Some teams try to get to that one good ball handler and clear out of the way. They got Jackson on the floor still. That might be their option.
Robiteau hits a one-hander and the freshman comes through. And that shows some of the youth of this Anchorage team. They've got 2 freshmen on the floor in key positions at a key time in the game. And the freshman comes through and the lead is 8. Freshman for the Whales comes up. Lowry with the ball to Wilson. Wilson looks for the one-hander, doesn't get it. There's Lowry with the one-hander, and he gets it to go. The Whales with some clutch outside shooting refuse to die. We got a ball game, Jim.
6-point ball game. Seawolves want to just come down and figure out how to run out the last minute, 22 seconds. Well, this Friday at 9 p.m. on KTO TV, you're invited to match wits with the master detective, Sherlock Holmes. Tune in and crack the bizarre case of the Greek interpreter. Who abducted the terrified translator? Where do they take him? Help decipher the clues in this advanced lesson in elementary deduction. Don't miss the adventures of Sherlock Holmes on Mystery this Friday at 9 p.m. on KTO TV. It's television worth watching. And this is a basketball game worth watching. And I think this game might have surprised a few people. I think everyone came and said, well, this is nice that Juneau and Anchorage get together, and it's going to sort of a historic moment. But I think everybody in the back of their mind expected Anchorage maybe to cruise to a 15, 20, 25-point victory tonight. And the Whales just come out and said, no way. And they've hung in there, and we're down to the last minute 22, 6-point ball game. I'm sure Coach Markey would rather be 6 up than 6 down, but he can't complain too much about the position he's in right now.
Well, I think, as it was pointed out in our halftime interview, 2 of the Anchorage starters are at home, and we're not taking anything away from the Whales because they've played a dynamite game. They followed their game plan. But the key there is, I think the talent is there on the Anchorage bench. Their chemistry is a little off, and I think they're lacking some ball handling because both the guys that are missing were a small forward and a guard. So we'll see if the Whales can capitalize. As Dot fouls, and I'm sure that's the strategy. They're going to put another freshman on the line. And Coleman will check back in. He's got 4 fouls, but at this point in the game, they need him. Miller checks out.
Dot is first at the line, shooting 1 plus the bonus. 23.
Childs will go to the line. And as a fan, I would have liked to have seen this been a 2-game series.
See what kind of adjustments the coaches would have made night 2.
Childs with a very nice form.
Well, UAJ's outside shooting has certainly helped them in this ball game. I can think back on some games this year where you would have hoped that UAJ's outside shooting would have been a little bit more accurate. And although I guess if they're going to pick that one game to have a hot hand in, this was the one to have it in.
Right. If they're basically the Whales are mathematically eliminated from the conference playoffs, but so this is basically like a bowl game for them. This is a biggie. Dot fires, doesn't get it, and Ncaa makes himself known. Deep to Childs. Childs stops. Puts up a one-hander, nearly blocked, but taken away by Jackson. We're going to have a quick foul. Jackson with the ball.
1-1 with the body for Duncan.
Everyone expected Childs to dunk there, and most freshmen probably would have tried to. He went up under control, trying to get the foul in the shot, didn't get it to go. I'm impressed with the freshmen. These are Alaska players, Robiteau, Childs, and Ligon, and they've done a good job. Kilpatrick. There's the missed free throw by the veteran at the line. Dot looking to get the shot off. Lowry fires. He goes! He gets it to go. The lead is a touch further in the lead. The lead is 8.
Putting the howitzers up and they're going down.
You know, Damon doesn't have the nicest outside touch, doesn't have the most fundamental form. But tonight, he's getting the job done. He shoots 4 or 5 shots a game, and tonight he's hitting those 4 or 5.
Like we said earlier tonight, there's more Wales basketball ahead on KTO TV. Friday and Saturday, the Wales will be playing Whitworth, and K2 will be televising that Saturday game at 8 p.m. That's the last home game of the season, so we'll want you to see you here cheering for the Wales. If you can't do that throughout Southeast, why don't you just catch the UAJ Humpback Wales here on KTO television, and we'll also have a season wrap-up series at the end of February. We'll have Coach Markey on, and we'll be talking about his trip down south to the Seattle area, where he takes on Pacific Lutheran, St. Martin's, and Seattle University to wrap up the season in the middle of February.
We're back to game time.
6-point ball game. Seawolves are going to try to get the ball in. The Wales here, maybe a quick turnover or two underneath the basket, and a couple quick conversions.
Okay, there's the inbounds pass to Child, stolen away by Dot. Wales with a chance to go down by 4. There's Lowry, the hot hand. He continues hot. Ncaa escapes. He'll go to the basket, and he's fouled by Wilson. That's the only thing Tom could do. The lead is 4. The lead is 4 with 47 seconds remaining. And Ncaa will go to the line. And that's plenty of time for the Wales to make a move.
I'm sure that's one thing. That's one thing that Coach Larrabee wanted his team to do, is inbound the ball and take care of it. And that steal by Doug Dodd over there, that was the 16th turnover for UAA Seawolves by our reckoning. 7 for the Wales. And let's see if Hansi Gnad can hit the foul shot.
And he doesn't get it to go. And I think it's one of those cases where I think UAA took the game a little bit lightly. Naturally, it's not a conference game. We'll watch the shot. It doesn't go. They get the rebound, and they can all but run it out. And there's a foul, and they'll send Jones to the line. But they never really seem to get started, except for, you said, they were scoring in spurts. And they never got their motors going, and you just can't turn it on and turn it off sometime, and this is one of those nights, and the Wales have been quite consistent, and they never lost contact in terms of being too far behind.
Now we'll see if Jesse Jackson can deal with this noise, crowd noise. 23 seconds around the clock there.
And he makes it a 5-point game. And that's a key free throw. 4 points, 2 possessions. 5 points means 3 possessions.
42 seconds left to play in the game.
Fans are alive. And the free throw is good. 87-81, 41 seconds remaining. They'll look for Lowry. Lowry hawked by Jackson. He fires. He doesn't hit, and Ncaa has the rebound. He throws deep to Childs. Childs with the pump. He's called for traveling. And the Wales are still alive. He may have been better off just to dribble that one out. Shot clock not a factor.
Down to 31 seconds now. And the Wales will come back within 4.
Bounce pass inside. Esau puts up the one-hander. Goes! Coleman with that basket. Double team on. Up the floor to Childs.
Technical. Oh, no.
Technical foul.
Basket count.
A freshman mistake. He should have given the ball to Ncaa. Ncaa was all by himself. I think Childs has been waiting all night to make that play, saw the opportunity, and should have done something a little more unselfish. And I think Ncaa is telling him that right now. Should have passed the ball. That gives him a little hug, and that's a big play for the freshman. He needed to hear that.
It was a gutsy call by Jim Shoemaker, too. He was right there.
And the free throw doesn't go by Tommy Wilson. Not much advantage to making that one if you're thinking in terms of possessions. The Wales would still need 3 possessions to be in the game. Dot fires from 20, and it goes! 7 seconds. A steal by the Wales. Inside the roll. Lowry scores, and time runs out. A 2-point ball game. 89-87. The Wales unable to get the timeout call. And all the fans here, a standing ovation. We'll let it speak for itself. Okay. Jim, exciting finish.
89-87. Just maybe the time ran out there. The Seawolves did not take that good a care of the ball there the last couple of minutes of the game, but they hung on to win. They broke that press one critical time. Mike Kilpatrick technical for hanging on the rim and slam dunk. That was certainly, he was all free. They had all 5 men down the floor giving the press. Once the Seawolves got past it, that might have turned out to be maybe the most key possession for the Seawolves as it turned out. Okay, let's go down to some of the. I'll go down the team stats here real quick, Andy.
I'll go set the interview.
What we get for the individual scorers. For UAJ, they were 36 for 75 from the floor, so just under 50%, and some incredible outside shooting down the stretch there by Damon Lowry and Doug Dott. Dott had a little trouble there at the beginning part of the second half, but down the end he had 2 big baskets, and they, as the athletic director Petro of UAA commented at halftime, he had a 3-point line in college ball. I think the Whales probably would end up winning by 15 tonight. There was a lot of 3-point plays. UAA 37 for 67 from the floor, so they're over 50%. A lot of those layups by Hansi Gnad. They fed him early, although in spurts he had spurts in the first half and at the end of the first half, and spurts in the second half where they were feeding him the ball, but they weren't being able to get him open consistently underneath the basket. At the free throw line, UAJ was 15 for 18, UAA 15 for 20. So both teams shooting well from the free throw line, although Hansi Gnad missed 2 big foul shots down the end that could have hurt the Seawolves' chances. UAA out-rebounded UAJ 38-22. That's sort of a common story all season. And in the turnover department, as we saw at the end of the game, there are 3 big turnovers by the Seawolves there in the last 45 seconds of the game, and that ran their total to 18. They had, for the night, UAJ turning the ball only 7 times. So sort of the common thread of this thing, we get UAJ being out-rebounded, but their hawking defense causing their opponents to turn the ball over more. And while Andy's setting up for the interview down on the sidelines, let's go through the individual scoring for tonight's ball game, if I can get it here. Thanks, Bob. Doug Dott had 22 points for the UAJ Whales. Pete Esau chipped in with 17. Damon Lowry had 16, and Steve Coleman had 14. Jeff Miller and Rick Beecham had 4 each for the Whales, and Tom Wilson had 8. Plus, Wilson had a couple of howitzers there down the end. I didn't know Tom had that shooting range that he displayed down the last 2 or 3 minutes of the ball game. Hansi Gnad, big surprise, 29 points to lead all UAA scores. Jesse Jackson, 25 very flashy ball points, and Mike Childs, 20 points for the freshman from East Anchorage High School. And then Mike Kilpatrick chipped in 4, Vern Roboteau with 4, and Jeff Sheedy had 4. Mike Smitzer had 2. Smitzer fouled out of the ball game. So that was the scoring for the night's ball game. Let's see if we're still trying to catch Coach Markey down at courtside. And as Andy sets up, Doug Dott with 22 points, leading a very valiant UAJ effort tonight. And this sets us up for the final ball game here on KTO TV. Friday and Saturday, the Whales will be playing Whitworth, and KTO will be televising the Saturday game at 8 p.m. So that's our standard start time, the 8 o'clock game, and that will be the last home game of the season. So come out and cheer for our Whales, and if you're throughout Southeast Alaska, we'd like you to stay tuned on KTOO and take a look and see the UAJ club close out their season. I think after this very close call with UAA, I'm going to give the Whales a little bit more fired up, and I'm sure that they'll want to try to close their season on a high note. Also, we'll have a season wrap-up show at the end of February. This is the Whales basically have 5 games remaining on their schedule, and it looks like they're squared away down at courtside. So let's head down to Andy Lee and Coach Claire Markey. Andy?
Okay, Jim, I'm here with Coach Markey. Great game, Coach.
Well, it's a game that we wanted, and kids played very, very hard. We lost by 2, but I think we did the best we could. Maybe with a little bit of a break there at the end, we might have been able to pull it out. We just got a little bit too far down to made our run back at them.
Well, one of the keys was you did stay in touch the entire game. You didn't get out of the game at any point.
Yes, I don't think we got more than 10 down, did we?
No.
But of course, the inside game really hurt us, and it's obvious. We just they got it in there and they just shot over us, and there was no way we could even put enough pressure on them, but Pete was doing the best he could, and so I'm very pleased that we played so hard, and we did things well, and didn't give up, and so what can you say after that?
Well, one of the things, from my standpoint, and I'm sure from the fan standpoint, but both teams had a lot of freshmen. Our young guys really came through tonight.
Yes, they did. I thought Rick and Steve and Dame all did a fine job, and of course Pete's only a sophomore too. You kind of think of an old man, but he isn't. So I thought, and then of course Doug had an outstanding shooting night. They really worked on him in the second half. They wouldn't give him that shot, but he still got a few of them down whenever he got a little opening there.
Well, we've got to think a little bit ahead now. You got a conference finish coming up this weekend. Where are the Whales headed now? We have a road trip coming up too.
Well, we have this weekend, we have Whitworth, and we played them earlier in the season, and they have a big kid, a 7-footer, but he's not anywhere in the neighborhood of Hansi Ganot. And they're playing well right now. They knocked off Central, which of course is the leading of the district. So after we play this weekend, then we have about 8 days off. Then we make our final road trip to Seattle, and we play Pacific Lutheran, which is a very fine team, probably be in the playoffs. And then we play St. Martin's and then Seattle University, and then that's our season.
Well, fans, if you missed this one tonight, it was an exciting game. We want to encourage you to get down here to the Whitworth game, and congratulations to you, Coach, and continued success in the season.
Yes, Andy, I'd like to say hello to Preston Faber, who's in the hospital right now. He's
exactly.
Somebody from our school, and hope he liked the game.
Oh, I'm sure he did, and get well soon.
Right.
Okay, thanks, Coach. And Jim.
Well, that just about does it for tonight's broadcast. Join KTO TV Saturday, 8 p.m. for the last home game of the 85-86 season. That's one game you don't want to miss. Join us then. For Andy Lee and the KTO basketball crew, I'm Jim Griffin. Final score one more time, UAA 89, UAJ 87. Have a good evening.
From the end of the Roman Empire to the dawn of the Arab Age, one idea takes root.
The exclusive worship of one universal God. The Jews, scattered as they were, became emissaries for this new view of the world and the universe.
But this new view takes different shapes, and Rome must deal not only with the Jews.
On the ruins of Jerusalem, a pagan city was built. Jews were forbidden to enter it on pain of death.
But with the Christians.
In Roman amphitheaters, Christians who refused to worship the Roman gods were torn apart by wild beasts.
And the Christians face another threat.
Throughout Asia Minor, Christian communities fled before the invincible sword of Islam.
Join Abba Eban for Heritage, Civilization and the Jews, the Shaping of Tradition.
Continues this Thursday at 10 p.m.
Public TV goes front row center, premier performances galore. You'll turn us on and you'll love it. TV worth watching, worth paying for.
You're watching KTOO TV, Juneau.
At any moment, lightning will strike the Earth 1,000 times a second, and countless storms will tear through the atmosphere. Yet these phenomena are but fleeting glimpses of a far more powerful force. Today, a global search is underway to unravel the mysteries of Earth's climate. Over time, the climate of the Earth changes as dramatically as the seasons. But only now are scientists beginning to find out how and why. This is the story of their search. It begins with the fragments of a giant puzzle collected from around.
walked out of that party with you. Jason Colby is Blake's partner. Pipeline is a gigantic project.
Adam, that's not the point. Your father insulted me. He humiliated me.
You know as well as I do that business is not just done in the office. It's done in restaurants and country clubs and parties like the one tonight. I had to stay to protect our interests. Yours, mine. My interest is yours, isn't it? And your interest is my interest. You could say we are very interested in each other.
Oh, I love you so much. I just don't know what I'd do without you.
Well, you got me.
Always.
I say so just a few days ago for all the world to hear.
Say it again.
Always.
I love you.
Always.